Good evening and welcome to the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League Miami Grand Prix. I am Tim, back once again, and with me is my co-commentator, as always, Malc. How are you doing?
You're all right, Tim. I'm doing very well, mate. I'm doing very well. How are you doing?
Oh, I am doing fine, just ready to see 10 laps in the sprint and then 29 laps in the feature race for our Miami Grand Prix, brought to you in partnership with GridFinder.com, and it's going to be an exciting one. And you know, Malc, we were just talking about it before the race, or before the stream started, and looking at the drivers and constructors standings, nothing is decided yet. Of course, we have a very close battle in the drivers between Ginger Tiger, Smoke, and Russman, the top three. Ginger Tiger has 244 points, to Smoke having 227, and then his teammate Russman 226. 1 point separating the both of them. And then, of course, behind them, 217 points belonging to Melanade and Speed Queen 80 in fifth with 193. Turning to constructors, it is the Race Ventura Wind Detectors with Russman and Smoke on top of the board. Could possibly clinch the title tonight, but mathematically it is still open. Second place, the smooth operators of Sab and Melanade. Well, they're going to have a lot of smooth operating to challenge Smoke and Russman. It is 453 points for the Race Ventura Wind Detectors, and then 349 for the smooth operators. So, Malc, with the season coming to a close next week, just 2 feature races remaining and 2 sprints, of course, as well. Not a lot of points up for grabs. What are you expecting in this championship battle?
What, for the drivers first, or constructors first, or both?
Well, let's talk about the drivers, because it's not mathematically decided, but it does seem as though Race Ventura Wind Detectors will get this title, but the drivers is the one that's very close.
Yeah, so I do agree with you. The drivers are really close, as you said earlier on. Now, normally the maximum points, correct me if I'm wrong, normally the maximum points that you get in a race, in a both sprint and feature, is 33 points. So that's 66 points in total to get first in both races. Now that's very tough. That is really, really tough. And I think we've had a few occasions where both have been hit with 33 points. I mean, I think you get like 34, sorry, I do apologise because of the fastest lap. So you might have 34 points. So anything could happen. Anything could happen. And I think the title is going to be between Ginger Tiger, Smoke, Russman, and Melanade. Those are the 4. I mean, Speed Queen and Daryl, they're only just briefly, and also Sunboy, they're only briefly off. But, Sunboy could be out of it, to be honest, but it'll be a mammoth task. You'd probably need to get all top 6 out of the way, but I think the way that we're going to be seeing tonight, the permutations is going to be rocketed sky high. The constructors, I do agree with you. I think the Race Ventura Wind Detectors might seal it, depending on how Saab and Melanade do. And also, don't forget, Darryl and Joe. I mean, Joe's not racing tonight, unfortunately, so Darryl will be a sitting duck. So, but smooth operators, Saab and Melanade need to get decent points tonight to close the gap onto Russman and Smoke. But I think the constructors might be sealed tonight, depending on how everything plans out in both the sprint and feature race. And before I say anything to any more, Tim, good evening to everyone that's in the chat. Hello, Spud. How you doing? IRL, he says, hello, lads. How are you guys? We're both very well. We're both very well. Michael. No, Michael, no. Hi. How you doing? ARL says races have just been going downhill for me, unfortunately. So hopefully can change it tonight, or at least enough luck to get rid of the bad luck. We'll talk about that in a minute. Oh, we're about to start. Sorry. Going to the race for the sprint.
Malc, I thought you saw the timer and you were timing
I didn't see
it perfectly.
It,
you were timing it perfectly. I thought you was just part of it, but 5 lights in the air, no red lights. This is our 10-lap sprint race to decide the starting order for the Miami Grand Prix. And, of course, you know, some drivers pick up some points here as well. That's kind of important. Oh, my goodness. And
Whoa.
Ginger Tiger in the Aston Martin sending it on the inside there, making some contact and undoubtedly going to be some damage on that Aston Martin. Simon Palmer, meanwhile, in first place. Sir Spud in second. Michael Luke in third.
Yeah, that was a bit of a strange moment. It might have been bad moments itself. And Smoker Spud, I don't know what happened to him actually. I don't know if he had any contact at all, but hopefully we'll see some more action galore. But looks like ARL's dropped himself down to 10th, sorry. Oh, crash! Contact, oh my God. ARL has hit the wall. He got caught by a few cars. And then because he got bumped, he got hit to the wall. And lost his front wing. So, yesterday in the F3 team, there was a virtual safety car when someone lost their front wing. And in this case, at the minute, IRL will be fuming that the VSC has not come out yet.
Hey, who said that this game wasn't realistic? They have the same consistency.
They have this. Well, they don't have the same consistency. The way. Oh my God, it's raining. I just saw little raindrops. Unless I'm mistaken, Tim, I just saw a bit of raindrops. Unless that was the game's fault.
I've actually been wondering the same thing myself, Malc. I noticed. Oh yes, it is actually raining, Malc. Look at that. So I noticed that the clouds were, well, quite ominous today, and now we do see very slight raindrops falling. Not enough to saturate this track and force a change to intermediates quite yet, but this is going to be something that these drivers are looking out for. Only lap 2, and already we have to deal with a little bit of rain. Will we see that in the feature race as well? I guess time will tell, as we have got an Alpine of Turok trying to make a move on Ginger Tiger. Gets into P7. A fantastic move there. Turok just not messing around.
Yeah, Turok is not messed about at all. ARL is gambling, and don't blame him actually. He did say rain for the last 4 weather slots, so that could be in the last bits of the, well, throughout the majority of the sprint. But here we go. We might have a battle between Nojikash and O'Steve. Nojikash could make the move on the inside. No, he won't. He's just playing it safe. Ooh, he just did not want to risk it for a biscuit. Moments now. And O'Steve trying to hold on. Steve's trying to hold on. But can Nitro? I don't like this part of the track. I don't know why it is at Miami, Tim. I don't like this part of the track before the DRS straight. I just think it just reminds me of Vietnam. Do you agree with that?
It kind of does, actually, Malc, and that's a track that I kind of forgot about, but it's a very narrow section there right before this long straightaway for the DRS. I don't want to say I don't like it. It's very unique, though. I'll say unique.
Fair enough. Speed Queen. Can Speed Queen make the move on to Michael on the 3rd place? He just about. There's a little bit of contact, but Speed Queen has finally made the move into 3rd place. But can Michael bounce back with the rain always kicking in? But ARL will be livid. Well, I say livid because the track is still not wet enough. Even though it's starting to rain, the track is still not wet enough. And I'm just watching the timer, Tim. It's going to be a bit of difference. But while we go that, it looks like Speed Queen. Oh, I think Spud, her teammate. Oh, Spud and Michael to the bed moment. Michael. Oh my God, I'm going to the bed moment now. Oh, contact between Michael and Spud, Tim.
Oh, and now ARL, he has decided to retire in the pits and give up the ghost here as we ride on board with Sir Spud in the 4th spot. Michael Luke trying to get by Speed Queen 80 for the 2nd spot now. This is the DRS sector. Let's see. Oh my goodness, Michael Luke spins into the wall, got some wheel spin. Mal, could that have been from the wet track?
Could have been. I did not actually see from his perspective. So, yeah, some mad scenes. So Michael, who had a good... Oh, DRS is disabled. Everyone's going to have to go into the pits.
And what I don't understand is why did ARL retire when he did? He pulled into the pits. He was on the intermediates. He wasn't going to be able to get to 1st place, but maybe around the top 5, have a better starting position. But he retired 1 lap early.
The reason being, Tim, I've just had some confirmation from the info from the race info itself. Wood never want to retire, but had rear damage from front and floor. That's why he retired. That is why he retired. But the top six, Spud is struggling on those intermediates, and Nitrogash could have an opportunity to pull into that fantastic moment now. Can he try and make the move? Oh, I'm just watching it from his perspective, but Russman's getting closer to the Tiger, Tim.
And we are watching Sir Spud here for just a moment, but we're going to switch gears here and take a look at Ginger Tiger and Russman. On the inside, the Aston Martin of Ginger Tiger. On the outside, Russman in the Haas. Does Russman have the advantage? Yes, he does. He clears Ginger Tiger. Now, remember, there's no DRS because it's raining now. So, Ginger Tiger will not have the benefit of DRS down this long straightaway. Oh, and he won't have the benefit of anything anymore. He slides into the wall. A DNF for Ginger Tiger.
Oh, my God, Ginger Tiger. And we've got our first safety car of the evening. Oh, my God.
And
Malc, my God.
That's exactly what happened with Michael Luke just about a lap or two prior. Is around the same area of the track. Must have got a little bit of wheel spin, turned straight into the wall.
Absolutely. Look at this. Simon Palmer, who's got a time penalty at the minute, will be coming to the last few corners and will be the first person to be in first place unless these guys can get ahead, but it looks like he'll be in first. Speed Queen will start off in second place.
Now, Malc, take a look at the leaderboard, though. Tarak, there must have been a miscommunication. He is on the hard tires now.
Oh, okay. Okay. I did not expect that from Tarak. You are right, Tim. Tarak will be livid. Will be absolutely livid with the pit crew. Unless, Tim, he knows something that we do not know. But at the moment, the track is getting wet. So I think it might be a little bit of a bad communication from the team.
And I guess we'll see if he dives down into the pits for a set of intermediates immediately after. That would really be the best opportunity for him to salvage what could be a very costly mistake. Now, you are right, Malc. He might know something that we don't. And as we ride on board with Speed Queen, in his defense, it is only raining light. But as you rightly pointed out, that track looks quite saturated. So unless it dries up fairly quickly, which, to be fair, the summers in Miami are very infamous for being incredibly hot, I don't think it's going to help him today. Especially considering it's winter over here in the eastern United States.
I bet you're thinking, this is not right at all. But, yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's very difficult because it's a brand new track for all of us here, Invictus, not just everything in general. But also at the same time, it's going to be very, very difficult for these guys, especially for Tarak. So just waiting to see what's going to happen from his perspective. I'm just going to watch him now as well, see if he is actually going to the pits. If he is going to the pits, then that is... Oh, the back end just went. The back end is just went. And he's very lucky, actually, Tim. Did you see that?
I did not, but Tarak actually staying out on track now. So he's just going to lay in the bed that he's made.
Absolutely. While this is going on, guys, good evening to everyone that's joined in the session. I hope you're okay and well and having a fantastic Thursday evening on the 1st of December 2022. Reens, good evening to you, mate. I hope you're okay and well. If you like what you see so far, guys, please make sure you like, subscribe to the Invictus Racing League on the YouTube channel for all the live race itself. We are aiming for at least, and I've said again, we're aiming for at least 10 likes tonight, guys. 10 likes. If you can, that'll be fantastic. It'll be a massive, and I say again, a massive help to myself, Malc, and Tim for the commentating, as well as the Invictus Racing League on the YouTube channel. Hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button. Thank you so much. Tim.
You know, Malc, I just noticed that the fake water in the fake marina is even fake in the virtual world. There's no water droplets or anything. So A for realism right there.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. When you first looked at it, it was like, where's the rest of it? It's just like, it's gone. It's not there at all. But you never know what's going to happen. But these guys, all they're planning to do at the minute is not, it's not thinking about the wets. Well, they are thinking about the wet conditions itself, but they're not having a holiday. They want to try and get some points. They're trying to get some points.
They're not looking at the fake marina. That's just the guy up here in the comms booth.
Oh, my bad. My bad. So, here we go. Got a safety car in this lap. Safety car in this lap, Tim. I'll let you do the honours. Simon Palmer is holding up the crew.
Riding on board with Speed Queen 80, Simon Palmer, the control car. Simon Palmer, or I don't know who that is.
That's a new guy.
That is. Simon Palmer, he will be the control car, gets to decide when we go back racing, as long as it's before the start-finish line. Let's see what he does. He'll have to be careful on the throttle. Every single driver on the intermediates, except for Tarak, being a bit of a rebel out there. Let's see how he handles it. But we are back racing lap 6 of 10.
And Tarak is saying no. He's had enough. He's already in the pits. He should have got into the pits at the time. But unfortunately for him, he will go and get the intermediates. So, oh my God, it looks like Speed Crew trying to hold on against O'Steven. O'Steven trying to make that move as quickly as possible, but Simon Palmer is not messing about. He's trying to pull away as quickly as possible. Tim.
Yeah, O'Steven there in third place. If he hangs on, this could be a very good starting spot for him today in that Alfa Romeo. And Speed Queen 80, normally we see her having to fight her way up through the field in the feature race, but today she's found herself in second place. Could today be the day that she finally picks up the win that she has been chasing for so long? As now we got a move by Russman trying to get by O'Steven, looking on the outside. Does he get the job done in the Haas car? So far so good. Doesn't quite clear him into the corner, but O'Steven gives him room. Russman into P3.
Good move there from Russman. Now just still watching the mid-pack. Suspect struggling like mad. Darrell is just a little bit behind. Oh, needs to try and push as quickly as possible. You can tell he's trying to late brake to try and get that advantage, and he might make the move. He might make this move. Darrell's just trying to push on, but Suspect is pulling away from that Red Bull. Hopefully give him some wings a moment now. Smoke is trying to close the gap onto Michael, who had a bit of an unfortunate spin earlier on in this sprint race. But, oh, Darrell trying to make the move, but Suspect was not having it at all, Tim.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of contact there between Sir Spud and Darrell. Spud in 6th, Darrell in 7th, but behind them there's a bit of jostling around for position, or at least trying to, between Michael, Luke, and Smoke. Smoke trying to rebound after a spin earlier on in this race. Remember, this is just the sprint race. We have a 29-lap feature race coming your way immediately following this sprint race. But at the moment, you're watching Michael try to pick up a few positions, challenging Darrell, but not close enough to look for a move. Darrell, though, still focused on Sir Spud ahead.
Absolutely, and Simon Palmer. Oh, Michael! Going around the outside! Go around it. Oh, brilliant move there against Darrell. I don't know if Darrell's going to try and make the move again, but he won't. Michael's just saying, well, tough on that, Tim, tough on that. So great move from Michael
looking like he's got some decent pace around here, at least in the wet weather conditions. Didn't really get a nice look of how he was doing before the rain started, but it started falling so soon, about lap 3 or so really, we don't know how some of these drivers are going to handle these wet weather conditions. All we know is Simon Palmer, 3.7 seconds into the lead above Speed Queen 80. Looks like he could be starting from the front row at the start of our feature. But we got to wait to the end of the sprint until we get that answer confirmed, as we ride on board with Michael Luke, still trying to catch Sir Spud. Could not make a move that time. Went to the inside, could not catch him. Gets right up to the gearbox through the corner, but Sir Spud, a much better exit.
Yeah, but he went right close to the wall there, Michael. He was very lucky. But Simon Palmer will be holding on because he's got a 5-second penalty. Remember, Tim, he's got a 5-second penalty. So he needs to get rid of that 5 seconds, try and get that ahead of Speed Queen, she's struggling with the intermediates at the minute, which Rustman is causing a bit of havoc to try and make the move, but didn't want to risk it for a biscuit yet, Tim.
Yeah, and Simon Palmer will actually update you on his penalty. As Malc said, it's 5 seconds. The only driver thus far to pick up time penalties. Now he's 4.1 seconds ahead of Speed Queen 80, so he's close, but he's running out of time to really build that cushion that he needs. Meanwhile, look at Rustman there in P3, right on the back of Speed Queen 80, trying to get around her for second place. Rustman could really put a damper into Simon Palmer's hopes of winning this sprint race because he looks to be just a bit faster than the Williams, but the Williams is really acting as a shield for Simon Palmer at the moment. All the same, Rustman doesn't really care about that shield. He just wants to get the second place, get the most points he can, get the best starting spot that he can because he has a championship on his mind.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And at the moment, while that's going on, I think Speed Queen needs to step up to try and close the gap because I think the way it looked at the minute, it was like 5/10 each lap. At least from Simon Palmer. And Spud's made the move on to Nitro. No, he won't. He was having a quick glance. He thought about it, but he saying no, not yet. Not yet at all, sunshine. And Spud will try and put the pressure on, but Michael's under a lot of pressure again from Darrell. Darrell, who's been really unlucky the last few races, to be honest. Hopefully this will be an opportunity for him to get some decent points. But look at that, 5 seconds now, Speed Queen and Simon Palmer, Tim.
Oh my goodness, Michael Luki spun around.
Crash! I think there was contact. Correct me if I'm wrong. I had the camera on that one to me. I was just looked away for 1 second, for 1 little second. And unfortunately, just as that, Michael has lost the car and hit the wall.
Yeah,
so
and that is a shame for Michael.
Good.
I take one drink of water, Malc. I take one drink of... Yeah, just one drink of water, and then I look up and he's spinning. I swear I didn't do it.
You don't do the commentator's curse. Do not do that at all. While Tim's just sorting himself out, Darrell's trying to close the gap onto Spud for 6th place. Simon Palmer would still be staying in first unless he makes them, unless Speed Queen steps up a gear, which she needs to do. It looks like Darrell has got the down force down the straight and see if he can try and put the pressure on massively. But Simon Palmer will be coming up to cross the line to get those lovely 8 points and to start off in the feature race, Tim.
Simon Palmer crosses the line and the 5-second time penalty added onto his time, but he still overcomes the deficit needed. Speed Queen 80, P2, Rustman. In P3, Steven Nitrogash. Looks like that's going to be your top 5. So, Malc, we saw a wet sprint race. Are we going to see a dry feature race?
No. I hope I'm wrong, actually, to be honest. But the wets have produced some unbelievable moments, and Speed Queen has got driver of the sprint day, shall we say. Not the feature, just the sprint. But let's hope we have a dry. But I'd like to see some more wet condition moments. Tim.
And your official finishing results in subsequently starting lineup for the Miami Grand Prix. The feature race will be Simon Palmer in first, Speed Queen 80 in second, Rustman in third, Steven in fourth, fifth is Nitrogash, Sir Spud in sixth, Darrell Whiffen in seventh, eighth, Smoke Sab in ninth, Turok in 10th, 11th is Michael Luke, Ginger Tiger in 12th, and 13th is ARL. 29 laps of racing coming your way. Malc, what's your top 3?
Oh, you beat me to it. I think the way it's going at the minute, I think Simon Palmer. Actually, I'm just going to say it. Simon Palmer, Speed Queen, Rustman in any order. Oh, we are going to have a dry race. Good one. How about you, Tim?
You know, I think I do have to agree with you. Just in any order, Simon Palmer, Speed Queen 80, and Rustman, they really do seem like the class of the field. I feel like there's a few drivers that could challenge for the podium, but the big question is, can they catch that top 3. Oh, Steven, he seemed to have some promising pace. Michael Luke seemed to have some promising pace despite running about the 7th position, but then he spun, so we really didn't see what he could have done for the rest of the sprint. I don't want to say he doesn't have the pace, but he's going to have to pass a lot of cars, and that's easier said than done. That's why I don't want to choose him for my top 3, but to make him feel good, if he wasn't starting from 11th, he would have been one of my choices.
Yeah. I mean, the way it looked at the minute, I know that was in the wet conditions, and it could have been a different story, but anything could happen. Anything could happen, and we could be on for just wait and see how everything's planned out at the moment. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see how the positions of these guys and trying to get that good start as well. That's the crucial of it all. They need to have a good start. Keza says, sorry I couldn't join, guys. I've got internet issues yet again. I have good pace around here too. I'm just reading some of the comments actually from the Discord chat, which is the guys that are in the Readers Performance League drivers room. And they said they were just trying to get Keza back in, but because there's some issues with his car and also his connection issues, unfortunately for him, he cannot race. But he did mention to me before the lobby issues, he said, before his internet connection issues, he said, he definitely wanted to get a good result. Because I think he had, by the way, he kept saying to me, he was like, he had the pace. But it's like what if moments, and we would never know, unfortunately. I'm sorry, Keza, but we would never know if we ever going to see that same pace that you had last week at Abu Dhabi until you had that unfortunate crash and mistake as well. And Spud says, didn't like the rain. Well, we loved it. Didn't we, Tim? To be honest.
Well, yes and no. I am excited to see some dry racing around here, so I'm glad that we're not having a wet feature race, but the rain definitely made it interesting.
Yeah. So just have to wait and see how everything plans out. But if you like what you've seen so far, guys, and if you just joined in, good evening to you all. You've just missed the sprint race. Where have you been? Where the hell have you been? You need to watch the sprint race highlights back up, and we will be able to start the feature race in about in a few minutes time, and now it's 30 seconds. Got me timed on that. So yeah, if you like what you see so far, guys, please make sure you hit that like button. We're aiming for at least 10 likes tonight, guys. And Tim, over to you.
And no formation lap, just starting with the race here. 29 laps coming your way from the newest addition to the Formula One calendar, the Miami Grand Prix. Another home race for your commentator here, but we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights in the air. No red lights in. We are green for the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League Miami Grand Prix. Simon Palmer, Speed Queen 80, Russman, the big 3 today. And we got 3 wide back there and someone else really sending it on the inside. Who was that?
That was Spud on the Red Bull. Whoa! Whoa! What is going on? This is ridiculous. Again! Ridiculous!
So what's happened, Malc?
So, from what I could see, is Spud, I don't know if he just lost his braking point. Hopefully he'll give the comments later, but unfortunately he got caught up with a few drivers with tangle on the first few corners. So unfortunately for him, Spud will have to go into the pits and get some fresh, fresh front wing. But Michael's got himself into 8th. Taraka's got himself into 6th place, Tim.
Now, if you notice, Smoke has already got himself up into 3rd place, so Smoke really taking a bit of a move of desperation there into turn number 1, but it seemed to have worked for him, getting into P3. Speak Queen 80 in 4th now. Russman, though, Smoke's teammate, up there in 2nd place. Simon Palmer pulling away on those mediums, 2.3, 2.4 seconds, separating him in 2nd place.
Yeah, so at the moment, Simon Palmer started off with a medium tyre. Majority of them have gone for the hards, except for Michael and for IRL. So, yeah, they're trying to pull away as massively as possible. It looks like Speed Queen trying to get herself back up to third place. And if she can, that'll be fantastic. Oh, get in! Oh, my days! And she's done it! She's done it! She's done the move! That was a great move there from Speed Queen. Unbelievable stuff, Tim.
And now we got two championship contenders, Ginger Tiger and Smoke, running 5th and then 4th, respectively, both in the Aston Martin. So Smoke up there, the defending champion, in 4th, and Ginger Tiger, the points leader, entering today in 5th place. Of course, Russman, the third man in that battle, there in 2nd place. But now Ginger Tiger, he's got a challenge from Tarak. Will Tarak be able to get the move done? Not this time, but he is still there.
He's still there. He's causing mayhem on Tarak. He's causing mayhem on Tarak. Tarak is causing mayhem on Ginger Tiger. Sorry, I'm losing words. This has been mad. This has been absolutely mad race again. Daryl trying to close the gap onto O'Stephen for 7th place. And a 3-car battle, Tim. We've got a 3-car battle. O'Stephen, Daryl, and ARL.
Stephen and Daryl both in Alfa Romeos today. ARL there in the Williams looking to rebound after a very unfortunate sprint race you saw him have. He spun, got some damage, had to retire, but looking so far so good today in the feature race. P9 for him already, just trying to gain positions as he can. Still no DRS, should have it next time, and I'd say that he is one of many who is just impatiently waiting for that DRS. As you saw, Daryl Whiffen try to have a move on O'Stephen, couldn't get the job done, but he's still challenging him there for 7th place. Looking on the inside, O'Stephen might have got loose, might have moved over. All the same, Daryl Whiffen in the P7, but now ARL trying to get into
ARL! Oh, brilliant moves from Tarak and Daryl. O'Stephen will be livid, will be absolutely livid. Daryl and ARL, unbelievable stuff. They're now trying to pull away to get themselves into the top 5, Tim.
And now that we've got 3 laps on the board, DRS should be activated. And Malc, I'm taking a look at our tire choices. Most of the drivers have went with the hard compound tires, so it seems to be a straightforward strategy of hard to mediums or medium to hards, but I'm very surprised that more drivers did not elect to start on the medium tire. All the same, it seems to be working thus far for Simon Palmer with that 4.9 second lead, and ARL, who is just now past Daryl Whiffen for the 7th position. But let's go back to the battle for the lead here for just a moment, because we earned battle for 2nd rather, because Russman and Speed Queen 80 actually making a little bit of contact there, but mostly keeping it clean. But it's been an intense battle for the entire race thus far between these two.
Absolutely, and here we go, we've got another DRS battle. See what happens. Tarak is trying to get close to Smoke for 5th place, and might have the opportunity to make the move. Also, Tarak has now made the move on the inside. Oh my days, I think there was contact. Between Tarak and Smoke. Tarak is trying to make that move, but unfortunately for Smoke, he will he's going to be under a lot of pressure. ARL going around the outside now. Has he made the move now? He's trying to keep that move. He was just off the track a little bit, Tim. Sorry for that pause. I just wanted to see what happened from ARL's point of view. But I don't know what's happened to Smoke. Smoke, he's going to lose another position. He's going to be careful not to lose any more positions, because Daryl's on his case now, Tim.
Well, I was speaking with Smoke earlier this week, Malc, and he said that he really did not have a lot of confidence entering this race, and in fact, that holds true for this race and the next race. So Smoke, one of our championship competitors, entering these last 2 races at tracks that he really does not agree with. So it seems almost as though he's doing some damage control, just trying to mitigate the losses. But with only 2 races remaining, it's not really the best time to do that. He has got to go. He's got to find a way to finish ahead of Ginger Tiger and Russman consistently in the following sprint that we have next week, and both feature races, counting this one.
Absolutely, and Daryl's just trying to close the gap. There's a few battles going. Looks like Sabo, Steve and Michael at the back are having a good battle, actually. Just a quick recap on the chat. Kessa says, how are you both, Malc and Tim? We're both fine. It's a shame that you can't get into the lobby. Would have liked to have seen you race, to be fair, Kessa. And he says, medium is a better starting tyre, 100%. So, Kessa's saying that. So I'm guessing he would have started on the mediums. Kessa would have done anyway. But would you have started on the mediums?
I would have started on the mediums, actually, and even though I am a fan of the reverse strategy, I would have started on the mediums. It just feels as though that would make the most choice. Kind of like how most of the time you're going to see drivers, well, you used to see drivers always start on the softs, even if maybe they were in 11th or 12th, they're very close to the top 10. Of course, different rules this season, you don't have to use the same tires you qualified on, so that opens up the strategy book a little bit. That's why we're seeing a lot of drivers starting on hards and apparently fewer starting on the mediums today.
Absolutely, and just as we was discussing the tyre wear strategy, Tarak took nothing out of it and made the move onto Jin Tiger at the start, finishing on straight. And now Daryl's made the move into 7th place now ahead of Smoke. This is terrible news for Smoke, because Smoke was 2nd place, 1 point ahead of Russman, his teammate, and now this is not good news for Smoke. The champion of last season in the Performance League is in 8th place. That is not the position he wants to be. He needs to get where Russman and Jin Tiger are to stand any chance of closing the gap. Oh my God, Tim, we need Smoke to push himself up to the top 3.
That we do to keep his championship hopes alive, but it's not over until it's over. Lap 6 of 29. Here is the points leader entering today, Ginger Tiger, running in 5th, doing what he needs to do. 2 spots behind Russman. Not the most ideal of situations, but definitely mitigating the loss there by being so close to him, and having that cushion being the points leader also feels pretty good, I'd say. But look at Tarak getting a bit closer to Russman, trying to make a move for 3rd place. Russman knows what he needs to do. He needs to have decent finishes, preferably a win, and hope that Ginger Tiger does not have a good day. So Russman doing what he needs to do, but he's under an enormous amount of pressure right now from a light blue car.
Yeah, from a light blue car, but Tarak is not messing about, to be fair. Oh, he was thinking about it. He was thinking about making that move. I don't know if you saw that, Tim, but he did make that move. Keza says, definitely, mate, unless there was rain near the end, then it would be the hard tyre. So that's what Keza would have done. If it rained, which we haven't heard anything from the weather crew or anything like that, so I'm guessing this is a dry race completely. If it was raining at the end, he would have had to change, would have started off on the hards to get all the way and then get onto the intermediates, or whatever that case. But it looks like Tarak is really pushing now to get himself into 3rd position from 10th? I couldn't say the words. From 10th to 3rd now, Tim.
Tarak using the DRS very nicely to get by Russman. Now he sets his sight on Speed Queen 80, 1.2 seconds ahead. Now, remember how Simon Palmer was the leader to this race? Well, he still is, but now it's 8.5 seconds between him and Speed Queen 80. An absolutely dominant performance from the AlphaTauri driver today, as you see him on your screen practically on a Sunday drive. There you see Speed Queen 80 now just trying to defend against Tarak, who is slowly but surely closing that gap.
Absolutely, but Tim, I'm going to have to say this to you. He's had the full points at the last time we was at America, which was at the US of A. Yeehaw moments! And then he had the next 33 points, if I just get my calculation correctly, was at the Brazilian Grand Prix. So there's a pattern here. So every even... No, I've been told off. Yes, I've been told off. It was the Mexican, sorry, not the USA. So I got mugged off. Mexican and the Brazilian was the points where Simon Palmer had the full first on both feature and sprint, Tim.
So what you're saying is that whenever the Invictus Racing League visits the virtual Western Hemisphere, Simon Palmer seems to perform.
Somehow, yes. Somehow, yes. But I don't know why, I don't know how, but he has rejuvenated his racing career at the minute. But at the moment, anything could all get shattered by a safety car, Tim.
Yeah, it really could, and that would be the last thing that Simon Palmer wants to see. We're on lap 8 of 29 now, so we are almost to that halfway point, just a few laps shy, give or take. Speed Queen 80 still holding off Turok as we're watching on your screen here, but my goodness, Turok just not messing around, looking on the inside now. Does he get the job done? This could be the move, and Turok gets the job done into second place. Speed Queen 80 in third.
Yeah, so Speed Queen, I don't think she expected that at all. But Speed Queen has got the DRS. She's got the DRS. She's got to be careful not to call with Turok, and now she goes back up to second place. Oh my God, Turok! Turok is really eager now because Russman's just behind. Russman is just behind, and I tell you what, Tim, I don't know what's going to happen at the end of this race at all. Unbelievable stuff.
Well, right now we're just seeing the three-car battle for the second position between Speed Queen 80, Turok, and Russman. Now, we picked Simon Palmer, Speed Queen, and Russman as the top three. Why did we leave Turok out?
I think it's because of the form that he had last season. Remember, he had DNFs galore. We remember when he had like 10 DNFs in a row. You heard that right. He had 10 DNFs in a row. And the last time he had points, Tim, was back at the Spanish Grand Prix. That was Spanish Grand Prix, Tim. That's when he had the points, the last time he's had points.
Well, Turok, he might be in for a haul of points today if he holds strong as he's doing thus far. No one seems to be able to catch our leader as he continues to extend that lead 9.8 seconds now, but the battle for second is raging on. And look at this, Russman, Ginger Tiger getting a little bit closer together on track now. Russman, fourth, Ginger Tiger in fifth. Now, Smoke, the other competitor in our championship, well, he's lost some spots down to ninth now in that Aston Martin, so definitely not agreeing with the Miami Grand Prix circuit here. But look at Turok getting a little bit closer to Speed Queen once again, but could not get the job done. Russman right up to the back of the Alpine now. Surprised that Ginger Tiger hasn't been able to catch these three the way they're fighting so hard, but I'd say it's only a matter of time before that Aston Martin joins the party.
Yeah, it looks like Turok has got a little bit more ERS compared to both Speed Queen and Russman, but yeah, damage limitations. They're both trying to save ERS, but Turok is not messing about. He's using all that might now. Oh my God, Speed Queen's trying to keep on the inside line. Russman saw the gap, but could not make the move. And I think Michael's made the move on to Darrell for 7th place, Tim.
Still keeping with the battle for second place, though, because Turok making a move on Speed Queen 80 into turn number 1, just barely gets the job done and clears the Williams car. And this seems to be what we're going to be watching for the rest of this race, it seems, man. Turok, Speed Queen 80, Russman just constantly jostling around and switching positions. But this is intense. Speed Queen 80, mathematically maybe still in that championship fight, but realistically not a factor. All the same, trying to pick up podiums, trying to pick up a win. Russman trying to win this championship, and he is right there on the outside looking in of that final podium spot, really drafting Speed Queen 80 here. Will he be able to get by her? DRS wide open, but Speed Queen 80, she's got the DRS off of Turok, so that is hindering Russman's momentum.
It is. It's making Russman even more angry than ever before because he wants to get these points. He needs these points to get that gap away from Ginger Tiger. At the moment, he's only gained 1 point compared to himself. Now, the gap between Ginger Tiger and Russman is 18 points. 18 points. He's only going to gain 1 point after tonight if it stays like this, depending on, obviously, from Russman's sprint race result. This is just based on the result I'm seeing at the minute from the feature. But that is crucial. If Russman had 6 points, sorry. So it's still, he's gained 7 points. Right, so that's 11 points the gap. Whatever happens tonight, if it stays like this, Tim, that's 11 points behind Ginger Tiger coming up to the final race of the Canadian Grand Prix.
So Russman just still holding in 4th place. We'll go back and take a look at ARL and Michael now. Michael getting a little bit closer to ARL. Of course, a good performance from ARL, having to come from 13th place on the board already up to P6. Michael Luke having to come from, I believe, 11th place And in 7th now, both of these drivers started on the medium tires, so that has definitely aided them in their quest. But Michael Luke trying to go around the outside, turns into the inside.
Oh.
Does he get the job done? Yes, he does.
That was close though, Tim. He was right at the edge of the barrier. He was near the barrier. Unbelievable stuff. And ARL was very lucky not to turn in. Otherwise, that could have been catastrophic moments, Tim.
So just wondering if ARL is going to be able to, oh my goodness, thought for a minute he might have touched the wall, but that was actually just the curb there. All the same, might have lost a little bit of momentum. That would have been crucial to help him make this pass. Does he get the job done? Looks like Michael is actually pulling away. So ARL, he does have the DRS, but don't think he's going to be able to get the job done this time.
He doesn't get the job done, but yesterday when we had the safety car, we had one car that completely lost the car. It was DNF completely. But I can't see where the safety car is going to kick in. That's the problem. I do not know when the safety car is going to kick in, because it would massively help Spud. It would massively help Tarak and Speedqueen to catch up to Simon Palmer. And to be fair to Tarak in second place, from 10th to 2nd, that's still impressive, Tim.
Yeah, that is very impressive. So Tarak making a lot of moves, as well as Michael and ARL while we're talking about him. And here we'll just go ahead and show you if we can get the correct information pulled up. Give me just a minute here. Position changes, 8 positions made for Tarak there. 7 positions made for Ginger Tiger, 5 for Michael, 6 for ARL. A lot of big movers today.
A lot of big moves, but can Russman make the move? No, he would not make the move. Oh, no. I thought he was going to go around the outside, try to cut on the inside back from into Speedqueen, but still Russman is using that same experience. But Tarak is now catching up to Simon Palmer, 7.6 the gap. Now this will be crucial and needs to be perfect on the strategy, because remember, Simon Palmer started off on the mediums. He has started himself off on the mediums. I think the mediums should last about 16 laps. So I would not be surprised if some of the drivers pit in a little bit earlier than normal. But 16, a little bit more. 18 will be a push. 18 will be a push. Michael's going to start the fastest lap of the race now. ARL is going to start into the pits now. ARL is going to start into the pits, Tim.
So pit stop starting, at least for the medium tire runners. The question is, though, when will Simon Palmer be pulling into the pits? He's not had to push his tires as much as ARL has, so I expect him to be able to extend this first stint a little bit further. All the same, 7.1 seconds the gap between him and Tarak now, so the gap has begun to shrunk. It might behoove him to pit sooner rather than later. Of course, Tarak being on the hard tires, his tires are going to have a little bit more life left in them at this point.
I caught you there, Tim. Caught you there on that one. Yeah, so 7 seconds is the gap. Was into the 6.9 is the gap. So we can tell that the hards are at the optimum, or at near the optimum temperature. The mediums are already at that point, and they're pretty much probably about 65-70% done on the mediums. So Simon Palmer needs to play his cards right. If he does, this will be a monumentous achievement for him to get the hat trick. Well, I say hat trick, the full shebang, shall we say?
Russman with the DRS could not get by Speedqueen that time. So I am noticing, though, Tarak 2.8 seconds ahead of Speedqueen. So I am wondering, just how much Speedqueen could potentially be hindering Russman, because we've seen it all day in the sprint, in the feature. It is hard for drivers to overtake at this racetrack, and it seems as though Speedqueen 80 might be holding up Russman. So if and when he's able to get by her, will we see a similar situation with what happened with Tarak, to where he starts to put a lot of ground between him and Speedqueen? Because you've got to remember, she's in the Williams. That is one of the slowest cars on the grid.
And still impressive. You got to remember, that is still impressive. On the slowest car, she's quick. She's absolutely quick. And on a day, no one can match her. No one can match her on the F1 days as well. Russman's got the chance to beat Speedqueen, but Speedqueen using all of her experience to make the defensive move. No, Russman, no. Oh my God, that was close. That was really close. He saw the gap. He saw the gap to make the move round the outside by the stadium section, but could not make that move, didn't he?
Oh, and Ginger Tiger had a bit of a moment entering this straightaway back there. He saw the back end come out on him just a little bit, but he was able to hang on to it. So that could have had some major championship implications, but he thankfully was able to avoid it. Russman using the DRS, but Speed Queen 80 successfully defending once again. Ginger Tiger, the gap, 1.2 seconds back. Could potentially have a third car in this battle, but Michael getting very close to Ginger Tiger now.
Yeah, it's getting close.
Or he was.
The fastest. Well, it was. It was getting close, but unfortunately, he's going to into the bits. Russman is still getting close to Speed Queen, but Tarak has got the fastest lap tip. He had the fastest lap of the race with 1:32s.
And Simon Palmer, he has pitted for the hard compound tire, so he will be going to the end of this race there. Comes out ahead of Daryl Whiffen. Daryl trying to get by him, but Simon Palmer on those fresher tires, ready to defend, and he does successfully, at least for now, but they are a little bit colder than Daryl's tires. Daryl does get by him, at least for now. How long until Simon Palmer overtakes the Alfa Romeo? He's going to have a tall ladder to climb to get back up there to first place, but pit stop should be in his favor.
Yeah, it should be in his favour, but Russman and Speed Queen, they're going side by side again. Oh my God, that was close. That was really close between Russman and Speed Queen. That was, I don't know if you saw that, Tim, but that was just insane stuff between the two drivers who are really pushing themselves into the limit. But I don't want to lose too much time to Tarak, who's come up to near the hairpin corner before the start finishing line straight.
On board with Russman. See him gaining, but only a little bit on Speed Queen 80. See that red light flashing. Speed Queen 80 really using all of her ERS down the straightaway to defend against Russman. And, you know, as I suspected, that's why she has been so successful time and time again. But how long can she keep that up?
Well, it just depends on how Russman can play. It's like chess. When is your next move going to kick in, based on the situations of the ERS strategy and also the pit stop as well. Remember, Simon Palmer is going to have to get back himself into first. Daryl could make himself a little bit awkward for Simon Palmer, actually, if he can play his cards right. And they're going round the left-hander. Ooh, nearly a little bit of contact, but here we go. Daryl will have the DRS. And he's sure the DRS now. Yeah, he has. He's got try to use all that ERS to close the gap. Simon Palmer has got at least 60% of that ERS. That is mad. Absolutely mad. That's why Daryl can't catch up to him, because he's on the fresh tyres. And Daryl is just doing everything he can to.
Oh, and Russman just tagged the wall a little bit. No damage that I can see, but definitely hindered his momentum. All the same, still 0.4 of a second behind Speed Queen 80. This could potentially be his opportunity to finally get by her, but she is protecting the inside like nobody's business. Russman not really making the gains that he needed, and once again cannot get the job done.
Absolutely, and now Ginger Tiger lost the position to Michael, who's on the hard tyre. Try and catch up to Saab. We haven't mentioned about Saab actually at all. So Saab's just doing his game. He's playing his game perfectly, to be fair. So he's just trying to keep that car intact, and he is doing everything he can, Saab, for 8th place. 4 the drivers already in the pits for their fresh medium tyres, Tim.
Yeah, Russman trying to do the undercut here on Speed Queen 80, and that could very well work in his favor. That might have been the best decision that he could have made. But if you take a look, we got Simon Palmer, who is 8.6 seconds behind Speed Queen 80 at the moment. Russman is 10.6 seconds behind Simon Palmer. So even though he's on the faster compound, even though he's got fresher tires, still not enough to really eat away at the gap that Simon Palmer's been able to build.
That's true. But wait for the next probably about 3 or 4 laps. That's when we probably see the actual time difference is now. Michael. Oh my God, Michael. No, Michael. No. Try and make the move. Saab. Saab trying to go around the outside, and he's got the inside line again. Brilliant recovery. Brilliant recovery from Saab. But look at Ginger Tiger. Ginger Tiger nearly just caught Michael off guard. And yeah, Ginger Tiger is going to be licking his lips and saying this is a good chance for me to make the move on 2 drivers. And I'm going to watch it from his perspective, Tim.
Well, maybe, but you got to remember one of those 2 drivers still has the DRS. Ginger Tiger does as well, though. Michael trying to make a move. Cannot get the job done on Saab.
Oh! I tell you what, it's mugged off. They're both mugged off. They're both mugged off. Oh, brilliant. Come on. Come on. Come on. You've got to make the move. You've got to do it now. Saab, he's going to try and hold on. Oh, brilliant racing. Absolutely brilliant racing. Oh, beauty. That's a brilliant move back from Saab. Oh, this is great. Blockbuster movements now, Tim.
Michael very close to Saab. Ginger Tiger close to Michael. 3 cars fighting for the 5th position. Oh, and contact!
Whoa.
Contact as Michael gets into the side of Saab. And now Ginger Tiger goes on the inside.
Oh, that's a brilliant move. One of the best moves he could make. 2-in-bet. 2-in-bet moment. Oh my God, this is epic. This is absolutely... Oh my God, we could have a 3-in-bet. Come on. We could have a 3-in-bet moment. No. Oh, Ginger Tiger will be absolutely laughing himself now because that was a great move and very lucky at the same time, Tim.
2 drivers' misfortune is 1 driver's gain. Ginger Tiger doing exactly what he needs to do when he needs to do it. Moving into the 5th position now, he can set his sights on Russman in the Haas. That is his closest championship competitor at the moment because Smoke running in P10, well, not really much of a factor, sad to say, for our defending champion. But Saab trying to defend against Michael Luke, and he's defending like a champion and was able to hang on to the 6th spot.
Absolutely, and Speed Queen has got herself into the soft tyre. She's got herself into the soft tyre. I think Saab and Tarak are going to try and get themselves into the soft tyres when they pit.
And she gets out ahead of Russman. Speed Queen 80 somehow gets out ahead of Russman.
But, oh my God, what is going on? What is going on, Tim? This is brilliant racing. Absolutely brilliant racing.
Never in a million years would I have told you that I thought that Speed Queen 80 could have got out of the pits ahead of Russman. I thought for sure Russman had at least a second or so cushion when Speed Queen 80 inevitably pitted. I have been proven wrong. Speed Queen 80 gets out ahead of Russman on the faster compound tires. Will it work for her? Time will tell. We have got 11 laps remaining, lap 19 of 29. Speed Queen 80, she seems confident that she can take these soft tires to the end. Let's see if it works for her. Russman just trying desperately to pick up every single point that he can, knowing that a championship is on the line. Here comes Tarak into the pits as well, so that cycles the pit stops back through. Simon Palmer will re-inherit the lead. Speed Queen 80 in 2nd, and Russman will be in 3rd.
I'm just going to look at the time difference between Tarak and Speed Queen. 26 seconds of the gap. 26 seconds of the gap. Now that will go down. That will go down massively. Now to 9 seconds. I think Tarak will be ahead. He will be ahead. Tarak is on the medium tire. He's played it safe. I'm surprised at that. I'm really surprised at that. I'm surprised he didn't go for the softs like what Speed Queen tried to do. But he's probably thinking, I'm not going to risk it for a biscuit, and just played it to his core to catch up to Simon Palmer, who could win this race, Tim.
Yeah, Simon Palmer having a very good day. 2.8 seconds now, though, separating him and Tarak. So this really is going to be what it comes down to. Is the medium tire late in the race the better choice of tire? Or was Keza correct, saying that you need to start on the mediums and finish on the hards? Simon Palmer, he's got 5 laps on those hard tires and no issue with going to the end. Same with the medium tire compound, but again, that question is, does Tarak have the pace he needs to catch Simon Palmer?
It's a very tough call at the minute, Tim. Very, very tough call. I think the next few laps is going to be absolutely crucial for Tarak. He did look really quick as he was battling out on those hard tyres. He looked like he was a man on a mission, to be fair. But I think by lap 23, 24, I think that's where we will see the battle between himself and Simon Palmer. So Michael had a bit of an unfortunate accident he dropped himself down to 10th place. Daryl's getting so close to ARL, Tim.
So we'll go back and take a look at Daryl and ARL here. ARL, decent job of making up some positions today. Maybe not as many as he wanted as there's contact. Daryl gets into the back of ARL, almost sends him into the wall, but both drivers are able to recover quite nicely. That could have been a big moment, but it looked to me like Daryl Whiffen might have just misjudged his braking a little bit, got into the back of ARL, but both drivers avoiding what could have been a nasty race-ending collision.
And it could have been catastrophic moments, but ARL is really struggling with that car. He's really struggling. He's going to try and defend for all his might, but Daryl's got himself a little bit more ERS compared to ARL. So Daryl's got a 3-second time down for multiple warnings. So he'll be absolutely livid. Saab 20 laps already, 20 laps on those hard tyres. So he's trying to go all the way to the end with those the softs at least. But Daryl's trying to do everything he can. Smoke is just behind. Daryl trying to make the move. He needs something. No. ARO saying no. No, thank you, mate. I'm keeping 7th place here.
So Daryl P8, ARL still in P7. Now you mentioned Smoke back there, our defending champion, who is, well, had a day to forget, quite frankly, but in P9 trying to, get up to P7 if he can, so that would at least mitigate the loss on the point standings for him, but I'd say that he just wants to see that checkered flag fly. Here comes Daryl trying to make a move on ARL. Will he get the job done? He's alongside him. It's going to be a side-by-side battle, but the Alfa Romeo has got the advantage, and he gets the job done. ARL being very smart, very wise, giving him room, knowing that there will be another corner that he can attack him in later. But let's go back to our top 3 here for just a moment, as it looks like Sav has now pitted for the soft tires. Here's Speed Queen 80 in 3rd, with Russman trailing her, or actually that should be Speed Queen 80, but it's showing us the wrong car for some reason. Now, here is Speed Queen 80 on your screen. Oh yeah, it showed me the wrong car. Has it ever done that to you, Malc? It's quite unfortunate.
A couple of times in the F3. I don't know why. I think it just didn't want to pick the right car at all. I don't know why.
Oh, but look at Tarak, Malc. Look at Tarak, 6/10 of a second behind Simon Palmer now.
Absolutely. Reed says Tarak is going for the fastest lap. He's already got the fastest lap. He got himself on that lap that he's just done recently. So yeah, he's a man on a mission. I did say give it till lap 24 to see the gap between himself and Simon Palmer. But it looked like Tarak is a man on a mission. He's just really... Why didn't he do this throughout the season, Tim?
I have no idea, but I think that this is kind of taking everyone a bit by surprise because, we even had Keza chime in and say that he felt that starting on the medium tires was the way to go. As you see Tarak getting the fastest lap once again. Now, Tarak started on the hard tires, so he's on the medium compound now. So, yes, he's on the faster tire to end the race, but Simon Palmer had such a gap built up that I thought that he had it won as long as there was not a safety car. Now in the later stages, he has a challenger, the Alpine of Tarak. And by the way, we do need to note that Tarak came from about 10th place or so, 8 positions made up at the moment.
But while you're watching that, we had a 3-car battle between Daryl, Smoke, and ARL. ARL lost out to Smoke just before the start of finishing line straight, and now Daryl will be under.
And Tarak making a move for the lead underneath of Simon Palmer. Some contact between the two cars. Simon Palmer back on the inside now. Gets the lead back from Tarak. Tarak, he tasted it, but just for a second. However, there's going to be another DRS zone coming up. This could be Tarak's opportunity. Simon Palmer trying to prepare himself for this challenge from Tarak, and here is the straightaway. When does the DRS kick in? You'll hear the beep. And when you hear the beep, well, that's when Tarak's going to be smiling. He'll be a very happy man. Using the slipstream, Simon Palmer goes to the outside. Tarak on the inside. It's a side-by-side battle. Tarak makes the move quite easily, it seems. Ooh. But Simon Palmer, he's going to stay right there and not let Tarak out of his sights.
Absolutely. It's going to be a bounce-back ability moments now. Can Simon Palmer bounce back? I tell you what, Tarak has impressed me. Tim. He has impressed me, and I'm sure the fans and the followers, and especially for yourself, Tim. What an unbelievable drive. This is the track that we should know. And Smoke has got himself into 6th place. Darrell drops down to 7th. To be fair to Smoke, that is good news. I tell you what, I've been mugged off because Darrell has got himself back up to 6th, and Smoke drops. Will you two pick a positions? Unbelievable stuff, Tim.
Now Darrell trying to go around the outside of Smoke. Couldn't get it done. Smoke up in a P6, but Darrell right on his gearbox, practically bump drafting him through the corners. Is Darrell going to be able to get the job done? No. Could not look for the move now. This is leaving ARL in the dust, so I'd say that Smoke is A-okay with that.
Yeah, for now, but it could be catastrophic moments now because of the DRS. The DRS has kicked in. Smoke has got no ERS. He's got no ERS at all. Dowell's trying for a little bit of ERS and goes down the straight. Here we go. This could be a good move. No. Will not make that move. Will not make that move just yet. Dowell's saying, well, come on, Smoke. I need that 6th position to give us a really good position. Oh, my God, Smoke. Oh, my God. I tell you what, Smoke is very lucky, but annoyed at the same time because because Smoke caught the curve, lost the back end, and had to let Darrell through because they were going side. He had enough room, actually. Smoke. Oh, my God, Smoke. Oh, this is mad. To the main moment, and Smoke has got himself ahead of Darrell. But I'll tell you what, oh, my God. Tim, are you watching this?
I am watching it. Smoke back into P6. That mistake actually helped him because it gave him the DRS down the straightaway. But now Darrell trying to make the move back on Smoke once again. Can't get the job done. And now ARL looking on the inside. Goes into P7. Will he get P6 from Smoke now?
Come on! Come on! You want to make the move? You got to do it now! You've got to do it now! ARL, the former champion of the Performance League. He is absolutely loving it. Made the move on to Darrell, but madness, Tim.
The former champion fighting the defending champion of Smoke, while Darrell Whiffen, not yet a champion, just trying to pick up what positions that he can.
He is. He's trying everything he can at the minute. But, yeah, Darrell will be absolutely livid if he doesn't get this moves done. But great, at the moment, fantastic stuff for Smoke for a recovery drive for him because even if he's not ahead of Rustman and Jimmy Tiger, he's still points. Still a little bit of points. Oh, Darrell nearly lost the back end of that car. And now they're going down the DRS straight. This is mad, Tim. I don't know which one to pick.
Well, it's a DRS train here, but it looks like, well, Smoke will be a bit of a setting duck. ARL right there with the DRS, but Smoke using all the ERS that he can. So ARL will still not be able to get by Smoke. Smoke hangs on to the 6th spot. This is amazing to me, Matt, because we were talking about Smoke struggling all race. He told me earlier this week he was not confident here at all. Now, I know this isn't a podium spot, this isn't a win, and it's not going to turn into one. But considering the fact that 5 laps or so ago he was running in 8th or 9th, he's done an impressive job to improve and rebound.
Absolutely, and fair play to him. He needed to step up a gear because he didn't want to lose so much points to the other challengers. Obviously, Melanado, or Melanade, as we always know, he's not in racing tonight, so this will lose points for him, wherever happens. But Smoke, Tiger Rustman will be loving it. In a minute. Darrell should have the chance to make a move on to ARL. Down the straight. Oh, ARL will have to keep on the inside line. And tell you what, ARL keep it on the inside line. But can Darrell bounce back ability? No, he will not. He will not. But, yeah, he's eager for it, Tim.
So ARL just cannot keep Darrell away from him. Darrell just trying to pick up everything he can. Now, of course, he does have that time penalty, 6 seconds. So ARL doesn't necessarily need to fight Darrell, but ARL is still not lost all hope of getting by Smoke. So that's mainly what he wants. He doesn't want Daryl to get by him so that he can have an opportunity to chase down Smoke. Daryl, he's just trying to overcome that time penalty, get the best finish he can, but it's lap 27 of 29 now, and your leader, Turok, has extended that gap to 3.8 seconds over the AlphaTauri of Simon Palmer. Speed Queen 80 on those soft tires, 5.3 seconds behind Simon Palmer, and 2.7 ahead of Rustband. So at least so far, those soft tires are doing well for her. Of course, she's very famous and known for her immaculate tire conserving abilities. So no surprise that Speed Queen 80 of all drivers would go onto the soft tires in the closing stages, but very surprised to see it work.
Yeah, normally the softs don't last that long around the Miami Grand Prix, but we all know Speed Queen, with the time management that she does, is still impressive, and hopefully she'll hold on. And I'll tell you what's holding on. I mean, Daryl try to hold on. He's trying to hold on around the outside against ARL. ARL's defending. Daryl's like a madman. He wants to make that move done as soon as possible, but can't do it. He can't find a way to get past ARL. Tim.
Yeah, ARL just really making that car about 10 times as wide as it actually is. So, maybe we need to be looking into the regulations and get the tape measure out. But all the same, it seems that he's done great making that car as wide as the racetrack, just refusing to let Daryl Whiffen by.
Absolutely, and Daryl will be kicking himself not to make this move done. And I'll tell you what, he's mugged me off. He's mugged me off. He's trying to go around the outside, but ARL has got the inside line. There was a little bit of contact. But not much. But can Daryl try and make the move? No, he won't. He will not make that move.
Yes, he will, actually. He gets by ARL on the outside. Oh, he overshoots the corner. Is that going to be another time penalty? No, but he lost a lot of ground.
He had to back off on that, Tim. He had to drop off because he did unfortunately keep that corner. Oh, Sab's out. Sab is out of the race.
And that's a shame for Sab. You mentioned earlier, Malc, that he had a decent run going, extended that first stint on the hard tires a bit too long. Going to try to see if the softs could work. Well, it looks like it's not going to be able to come to fruition for him today.
Absolutely not. But look, because the race is near the end, I don't think the safety car will come out anyway. So unfortunately for him, it's a shame because Steve has got himself into the pits. But he will finish off in 11th, so Spud will finish off in 12th, the way it looks at the minute. But absolutely mad racing. We're on the final lap now, Tim. We're on the final lap.
Taking a look at Turok now, he has been a man on a mission all day long. He's not been the one that's dominated, but he could very well be the one that wins this race. He started in, I believe, the 9th position. He has fought his way to the front all day long and being 10th. It was 10th. Okay, so Turok starting in 10th. He's going to finish in first as long as he hangs on. It's going to be a huge heartbreak to that man right there, though. Simon Palmer in second, who dominated practically the entire race until just a few laps ago. 5.5 seconds between him and Turok. Simon Palmer, he can do everything he can, but there's just nothing that he can do to get by Turok right now. Turok, just one more sector of this racetrack to go as he enters the third and final sector. And look at this, he might even have some DRS off of a lapped car just to top it all off. Not that he needs it, but he'd take it if he gets it.
Yeah, that is great stuff from Turok. And Nitrocash had a little bit of a spin on the final lap, so Daryl's trying to put the pressure on ARL, but I have to go back to Turok because he was at the end, Tim.
And out of the final couple of corners, he was not on our lists. Maybe no one pegged him to win today, but he pegged himself to win, and he was able to do it. Turok wins the Miami Grand Prix. Simon Palmer, a hard-fought day. He's going to have to settle for second, but still nothing to shake a stick at. Speed Queen 80 in P3, a good podium for her, finishing the race on the soft tires, making them last 11 laps. Rustman in fourth. So he is the highest finisher in our top 3 championship battle. Ginger Tiger, though, our points leader entering the race today, finishing right behind him in 5th. And look at this, Smoke going to be finishing in 6th. So Smoke doing a good job to limit the damage that he's going to lose in the driver's standings. Our top 3 competitors in the standings finished 4th, 5th, and 6th, practically nose to tail. Sort of.
Absolutely. Oh! Michael and Nitro. I think there was a bit of contact between the two drivers, but I think Nitro... I don't know what's happening between the two drivers at the minute, but there was a little bit of contact. I don't know what happened.
I don't know either. It's like Nitro was trying to let Michael get 9th, and Michael was trying to give Nitro the position. I think we just saw a huge moment of, I'm sorry we made contact between both of them.
Yeah, it could be that. It could be that there might have been a glitch or a technical issue with the game, saying that it was his fault. No, it was his fault. No, it wasn't. So they're just letting the position through. But there was a little bit of contact between the Michael and Nigel Gash Marlon. But yeah, so absolutely mad race, to be honest, Tim. And let you do the standings, but don't close off the standings like last time. But Tarak, what a legend! What
Actually,
a driver!
I did it right last time. It was 2 weeks ago that I messed up, or something.
I'll just say
most of the races, but not last time.
Oh, okay, sorry. I got told off now. My bad. My bad with that. But yeah, here are your classifications in a moment or two. But just watching the brief podium positions, and well done, Tarak. Tarak is absolutely loving it. But I'd like to hear his thoughts actually, because I think he would be. I think he'll probably be speechless. But well done to Simon Palmer as well, and Speed Queen as well for the top 3 finishing. What a drive. Unbelievable stuff, Tim.
And your unofficial results for the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League Miami Grand Prix pending in the Stewart Inquiries. Tarak in 1st, Simon Palmer in 2nd, Speed Queen 80 in 3rd, Russman in 4th, 5th is Ginger Tiger, Smoke in 6th, ARL in 7th, Daryl Whiffen in 8th, 9th is Michael Nitrogash in 10th, O'Steven in 11th, 12th is Sir Spud Sab in the 13th position. Unfortunately, after that late race DNF, here's a recap of the sprint results for our league admins, and of course the full weekend results if that helps them as well. Trying desperately not to mess up on this window, and I think we got it, Malc.
Thank God for that. Thank God for that. Nah, you're doing a good job. Doing a good job as always. But yeah, well done to Tarak, Simon Palmer, and Speed Queen. We will try and get probably Tarak in. I think Simon Palmer's already in the commentators box. We'll get him to confirm in a minute. Unless Speed Queen joins, we might get Russman in, see his thoughts of a 4th place finish. But other than that, Tim, what's your thoughts? Well, I'll try and get the other, probably get Tarak and Russman to join in.
Well, I think that we saw a very interesting race, to say the least. It was a wet sprint race and then a dry feature race. Very surprised to see Tarak take that win, but credit where credit is due. He had the right strategy when it counted.
He had the right strategy, but it's just mad. It's just absolutely mad. Yeah, it's just absolutely. I'm still speechless at the minute because it was just. It's just been a magnificent race. I'm just trying to get the other drivers in. Actually,
well, we have our top 2 in here right now, so I guess we can go ahead and at least talk to them. So, guys, please make sure you've allowed your voices to be shared. If you don't know how to do that, go over to the party settings, click Always Allow, and let me know when you're ready.
So while the guys are getting themselves settled and ready to go, it was a great race. It was an absolutely belter. Yes, there was a bit of a shock start again. From the first lap incidents as always, but as the race goes on, it's just so many battles galore. It's just unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable stuff. And if you like what you see so far, guys, please make sure you like subscribe to the Invictus Racing League on the YouTube channel for all the live race itself. We're aiming for at least 10 likes tonight, and we have got 11 likes tonight. So thank you so much to everyone that's contributed. But if we can get a bit more, That'll be a fantastic moment. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. But it'll be a massive help to myself and Malc, and Tim for the commentary, as well as the Invictus Racing League on the YouTube channel as well. Hit that like button, guys. And before we say anything, Simon, Tarak, and Russman, are you all set, ready to go for your allow voice to be shared?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So while, because normally Speed Queen would have been in the commentators box, but unfortunately she cannot make it in the interviews. We've just got Russman in, who finished off in 4th place. But I'd like to hear his thoughts as well, because he's also in the Drivers' Championship battle with Jin Tiger and Smoke, and also in Melanardo as well. So, guys, I'll pass you over to Tim, who will be doing the questions for the podiums.
And first things first, we'll talk to our winner, Tarak. Did not expect to be talking to you today, but here you are, the winner of the Miami Grand Prix, started from P10. Walk us through your race and how you were able to find yourself in the position that you did to go onto the mediums late in the race and chase down a very dominant Simon Palmer.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to apologize to Smoke. I overshot. I tried to overtake him, and I maybe ruined his race. But yeah, since the sprint, I really enjoyed the Alpine. It was really, especially in the first sector, I really nailed it every lap. So yeah, I tried to just go in straight, trying the overtakes. I did a mistake with Smoke, so apologies again. And yeah, with the mediums, I knew that Speed Queen was gonna go to softs, and the mediums are always the better choice. So yeah, glad.
So when you came out on the medium tires, you were about 3 seconds behind Simon Palmer. Were you a little nervous that maybe you wouldn't have enough time to overcome that gap, or were you very confident?
Yeah, especially in the first laps, because I saw Speed Queen with the fastest lap, like 2 laps after I went on the mediums. So I was keeping the gap to Speed Queen, and since I saw the gap increasing, I focused ahead, and yeah.
Well, it definitely worked for you, so congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And now we'll talk to Simon Palmer, second place finisher on the day. I know that you wanted that win desperately, but I have to commend you. It was an impressive performance nonetheless, and second place, a very respectable position. But looking back on it, do you think that there's anything different that you could have done?
No, nothing. To be honest, Tarak's pace was just crazy. You know, as soon as he come out 3 seconds behind me, I knew that was game, set, match. So yeah, just had to make sure there's no mistakes and hold on for second, which obviously I'm over the moon with.
Well, you certainly did a great job and almost a maximum haul of points today. But what is it about Miami that you seem to really agree with? Because it seemed whether it was wet or dry, you just had the pace.
Do you know what? On Tuesday before F2, even an hour before the race, I was practicing with Keza, I was practicing with Michael, Luca, and I was literally 1.5 seconds off the pace of them. I was so slow, and then all of a sudden, I just got the setup perfect, and the setup felt great, and just a couple of little tweaks for the sprint race, waiting for the rain. Whenever it says it's gonna rain on this game, it always tends to come a little bit early, so it was a no-brainer to start on the softs and just pull as much of a gap as I could do, which I think I did.
Well, it almost worked for you in the feature, but still, like I said, second place, a good job today. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And now we'll talk to Russman, finishing in 4th, but it's still quite significant because when you take a look at our top 3 drivers in the standings, well, you finished ahead of the other 2. So tell us how this finish really changes the championship picture for you with just 1 sprint and 1 feature remaining.
Not an awful lot, if I'm being honest with you, Tim. I feel like I messed my season up last week by DNFing, made a silly mistake, and it's cost me big time. Prior to that mistake, I was probably slight favourite, but now I'm massively behind the 8 ball. I think the gap going into tonight was about 18 points. So obviously I've raced my heart out this evening to try and cut the deficit. Had a good sprint race, so I've outscored Ginger there, and I finished 1 place ahead of him. So overall, it's probably not enough. Going into next week, there's still going to be a big old gap to overturn. I mean, I'm still in it, and I'm grateful for the fact that I have cut the gap slightly, but I still think it's a massive ask going into next week. Going to need a bit of a miracle, in all honesty.
Well, we know that you certainly won't give up until that checkered flag flies, so tell us, what are your plans entering next week, and, what's practice maybe going to look like?
Nothing out of the ordinary, to be honest. Just do what I usually do, turn up and give it my best shot. That's all I can do, really. Like I say, I'm going to be reliant on a bit of a miracle, but I've just got to do my job, try and score as many points as I can, and what will be will be.
Well, we wish you the best of luck. All the same, congratulations on a decent run today, keeping your championship hopes alive.
Thank you, mate.
And with that, that's all the time that we have. But thank you to everyone who watched the stream. Thank you to all the drivers that raced with us. And congratulations to our top 3 finishers. This has been the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League, brought to you in partnership with GridFinder.com. And until next time, have fun and goodbye.
See you later, guys. Take